Okay, in this video, we wanted to expand on our recent search engine land article. We'll link to it in the bottom. This is going over key strategies, PPC ad strategies for home services, how to optimize your PPC budget to get more high quality leads in this very competitive niche. If you're in there or if you manage it for clients or you're in-house, you know the CPCs have been going up like crazy. It's hard to keep the cost per lead down. So we wanted to write an article to go over specific strategies that have worked well for our agency and for our clients. So there's actually going to be two different videos for PPC ads for home services, or lead generation for home services would be another way to say it, because there's two different types of home services business. So this video, we're going to do the short sales cycles, which the article goes, it keeps going from short sales cycles to long sales cycles for campaign strategy, different bidding strategies for short and then for long, keyword strategies for short sales cycles, long sales cycles, and so on. It keeps flipping back and forth. So this particular video, I wanted to expand on the article and talk more about the short sales cycles. So this is mostly going to be repairs. So like plumbers, HVAC, appliance repair, roofers can be a shorter sales cycle. That one's kind of either direction. Some other ones for leads for home services, things like that. We'll do a video on that, and then we'll do a separate video actually for the longer sales cycles. That's going to be remodeling, other things like that, where it is a home services or even solar leads. That would be a lot more shopping. It's not, they Google it and they immediately hire you within minutes, which is going to be the other video on long sales cycles. So this one, again, we're going to talk about short sales cycles, just expand on some of the stuff. You're going to only write so many things. I've gotten some different feedback, so we'll expand on this article. I recommend reading it as well, but this is going to be expanding on it. So for the shorter sales cycles, we talk about some different campaign strategies. The most obvious one would be the search campaigns. So that particular campaign type, it's just search. You can include partners or not, depends on performance. Definitely don't expand it into display. That's a different campaign type. But we talked about doing mostly focusing on specific terms. So that can be broad or phrase match for just plumbing services near me, roof repair company, AC repair company, heater repair, even water restoration. That could be a quicker one. So that one, you're going to bid on the most specific terms. That will be the bulk of your budget, the bulk of your spending. The campaign type will just be search. The other one would be symptom searches, and we talked about that in the keywords section, specifically the symptom, branded, and competitors as other options besides the obvious one like plumber near me. The symptom searches would be something like kitchen sink is leaking water, fix broken pipe, something like that, to where the AC is blowing hot air, something like that. It's a symptom. They likely need a repair service, but they're not specifically calling it out. And with that one, you could get cheaper clicks. It's something to test. You'd probably put that in a different campaign, as well as branded would be usually in a different campaign, and you do phrase an exact match for your own brand term. You don't necessarily have to bid on your own brand, and it can get kind of messy if your brand also has a keyword in it, like Bob's Plumbing Services. You have plumbing services in it, so you're going to crisscross with other companies that are bidding on plumbing services as a broad match or a phrase match, because your company name, unfortunately, has plumbing services in it. So it's not going to be necessarily a very cheap cost per click. And then also one to test, this would be in a separate campaign, which we didn't get to go into as much detail in the article, but competitors is something worth testing. You could do as broad match or phrase an exact match for different competitors. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you can't put the competitor's name in the title, but it is common to bid on a large competitor, especially if there's a very big one in town that does radio ads and TV ads and billboards, or if you are one of those and your competitors do it too. That's something to test. It can bring in a lot of leads. You just have to monitor the leads and the calls and the quality, and make sure your staff is trained. We actually had clients to where they had an answering service or the people answering the phone didn't handle these competitor phone calls correctly. When they call in for competitor, they call and say, I'm trying to reach plumbing company A. And they say, well, this is plumbing company B. You have the wrong number. Goodbye. And they just ended the call, or they'd even give out the number of the competitor saying, oh, you called the wrong number. Here's the number of the competitor so you can call them. You make sure your staff does not do that. You, of course, don't want to lie to them or do anything deceptive, but say, no, you've actually called a different plumbing company, but we're happy to help you out. We'd be happy to give you a quote. It's like, oh, you were calling the other plumbing company because their repair person still hasn't shown up and they're 2 hours late. It's like, well, we could come by. We have someone available right now. So that's just a simple thing to train your staff. They don't have to be salespeople, or if it's a call center, a phone answering service, just make sure they know to continue helping them. It could just be one sentence saying, well, we're not that plumbing company, but we are a plumbing company in your area and we can help you. Would you like to get a quote from us? Would you like to book an appointment from us? Make sure they don't say you have the wrong number, or let me look up the competitor's phone number for you so you can call them instead. You have a live phone call, someone wanting that service, and they accidentally called you. As long as they're not, trying to order a pizza or something where it's definitely the wrong number, it's fine to have a competitor's current customer or potential customer on the phone. That's actually a very good opportunity. Just make sure your staff is trained accordingly. So if you're finding this content useful, go ahead and like and subscribe to get more great content like this. Or if you decided you don't really want to learn how to do this yourself anymore, click on the description link below. We'll run everything for you. We'll even do a free audit, free consultation, so you can see exactly what we would do if we took over management of your account. That way you can focus on running your business rather than learning how to run ads all day. So again, these would likely be 4 different campaigns to test. If you have a smaller budget, just do number 1, the specific terms. If you have larger budgets, you can test different things like all different symptoms to see if, people, the AC is blowing hot air, or the dishwasher won't turn on for appliance repair, or plumbing, something's leaking, or the water's dripping, or the faucet keeps running water, something strange like that, or water heaters, of course. You're not getting any hot water. Whatever it is, they likely need your service, so that's something to test. And then, of course, your brand, you can always throw that in, but make it a separate campaign. And then competitors is also something to test. So you could do the 4 different ones. And I would recommend this in the order. The specific terms first. If you have a bigger budget, test symptoms. Branded, actually, you could throw in either way. And competitors, I would say, would be the last one to test, because you never know how that's going to go exactly. Also, quick side note, if you're a very big company that does repair services, you can actually test display or even video ads, but this would mostly be for branding. It's kind of an online billboard. If you're plumber, HVAC, pest control, something like that, and you just want to be the biggest name in town, you can do display ads like banner ads on local news websites, or video ads just targeting homeowners, something like that. Just know you probably do $5 or $10 a day, something small for just branded. That way, when they do search, you're the number 1 name in their head for a plumbing service or something like that. You're probably not going to get leads over that. And again, that'd be for a larger company. Most of the time, you're just going to do search campaigns. Again, we cover the bidding strategy a little bit, and we go into way more detail on that. Connecting to CRMs, Service Titan and things like that that are specifically for home services to evaluate lead quality. We dug into that more. This is what we mentioned, kind of with the different options of keyword strategies, and evaluating those. Also, different ads. Wanted to expand on this. We just had a small section in the article, and it links out to a different one for writing better ads. But these particular ones, it'll depend on the service, the license, bonded, insured. Of course, it has to be relevant. A plus, you can abbreviate that with BBB, because Better Business Bureau is very long. It takes up a lot of space. If you actually have that, don't lie about that, because people can very easily look you up on the Better Business Bureau. So make sure that that's relevant, that's there. Discounts and coupons, didn't get to expand on that. It's very common to have a discount for seniors or veterans. new customers, or drain clog removal for plumbers, or AC tune-up. That's a very popular one, and that does give you a little bit of options on going into, if you're a larger company with a much larger budget, going into YouTube ads and banner ads for an AC tune-up. You can get those going during kind of probably April and May when it starts getting hotter. Just get an inspection, have your AC or even your heater, depending on where you live. Just get a tune-up, get an inspection. Maybe it's $50, maybe it's $200, whatever it is. It's a quick tune-up. Get everything looked at. That could be a different option, and it could be the main focus of the ad, and the options on there. It could be that direction, even bid on that keyword. So it didn't get to go into that many details. If you have been years and years in business, founded in 1977, or servicing Houston for over 30 years, the local option, locally owned and operated. If you're trying to go against the franchises, you want to play that angle. Or if you are a franchise, you can still say, locally owned and operated, just the particular location. They're all owner operated. So, franchise isn't necessarily a bad thing. It kind of depends on which direction you want to go with your ad copy. You're always selling the right option that fits you. If you're a bigger foundation and you have that going for you, you can use that. If you're a smaller company, family owned, operated, or something like that, just whatever selling points you have that are specific to your business, you want to make sure and call those out inside the ad. And for the more technical people, when you're looking at the different responsive search ads, or RSAs, with a larger budget, you can test 2 in one ad group. You don't have to max out your headlines and descriptions. They have to still make sense. So, don't do 10 if 10 different headlines if 8 will do, because otherwise you're repeating the same thing, and there's mathematically too many different combinations of headlines and descriptions. You'll never get through all of them. If you have a smaller budget, you can actually do 1 RSA per ad group. If you have, let's say, 8 different headlines, 3 or 4 different descriptions, and a decent amount of volume, you'll get through all of them. The old way of kind of the very strict A/B testing, where you had 2 extended text ads, you run them side by side, run a different headline, and see which one worked better. Those are really gone with the automation. I mean, ad performance or ad strength doesn't have that big of an influence on it. It's another thing where Google says it does, but it really doesn't. It's not even close to quality score, which again isn't the main KPI, but even quality score has a bigger impact than ad strength, which is kind of garbage. It just says add more headlines, put more keywords in. You don't have to have an excellent ad strength, and don't sacrifice your ad quality and just write a junk ad to get excellent. It's being read by human beings. You have to make sure it's actually a good ad, and you want to follow the conversion data, not make sure your quality scores are really high and your ad strength is really high. And again, ignore optimization score. That's a worthless metric. It goes up when you raise your budget, just to give you an idea how useless it is. But point is, make sure you're getting plenty of leads and the cost per lead is good. You're at a good conversion rate and the leads are turning into more jobs. All the other things inside Google's dashboard, they're really just upsells, kind of like when it pops up in your account, says, raise your budget, get your ad strength higher. Write an ad that makes sense. Don't focus so much on the ad strength. So that's something else to keep in mind. But you can do 1 RSA per ad group if it has enough headlines and enough descriptions. Really, the only reason you do 2 RSAs is a very high volume, or you're testing 2 completely different messages. One's maybe, it's cheaper, it's same day, or here's coupons, whereas the other one's more how many years in business and trust, or something like that. If it's just 2 that are the same messaging, you're just ending up with 20 or more headlines, and it's just too much volume. So that's something specific that has changed somewhat recently as far as how you would test ads inside of your search campaigns. So hope this was helpful expanding on it. I know there's a lot to cover here, and there's links to other sections of the article. as far as evaluating lead quality and call tracking, so many other things on there, and it links to a bunch of articles. And post any comments below if you have questions. I'd be happy to go over and answer them. We'll post a link to this full article so you can read it as well. Or if you want us to take a look at your account or manage the ads for you, you can contact us in the link below. We'd be happy to give you a free audit or take a look at your Google Ads account and make sure it's at peak performance.